Hello and welcome to RMU Live. I'm Sonu Babu.
And I'm John Blinn. Happy Monday, everyone. Today is Monday, February 10th, 2020.
A Pittsburgh woman won an Oscar for Best Animated Short Film. Wendy Willis, executive producer of the short film Hair Love, won the Oscar Sunday night, which was accepted by Matthew Cherry and Karen Rupert. And now we're going to go over to Amor, who's going to be talking more about what went down in the Oscars last night.
Thank you, Sonu. I actually did get to watch the Oscars last night. Laura Dean actually got to win Best Supporting Actress for A Marriage Story, which was great. Brad Pitt wins Best Supporting Actor for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Another memorable thing that happened last night was Eminem performing Lose Yourself and getting a standing ovation. Another performance that happened last night was Billie Eilish performing Yesterday from the Beatles, which was a really great performance and quite touching. Another thing that happened was Parasite winning not one, not two, but 4 Oscars last night. Them being Best Original Screenplay, Best International Screenplay or Film, and Jung Joon-ho winning Best Directing for Parasite, and the biggest award of the night, Best Picture. Next we'll toss it back to Sonu. The news.
Thank you, Amor. And as of right now, the Iowa Democratic Party says former Mayor Pete Buttigieg is leading the Iowa caucuses, but the battle in the Hawkeye State may not be over just yet. Democratic candidates have until 1 p.m. Eastern Monday to call for a recanvass or recount, and that's expected to happen. John Lernick reports.
14 delegates in Iowa. That's according to state Democratic leaders after updated vote numbers and a review of precincts.
We did well in counties that had voted for President Obama and then voted for Trump, and really demonstrated, I think, how we can put that majority together to win. Senator Bernie Sanders is in second place with 12 delegates. However,
it was a disgrace to the good people of Iowa who take their responsibilities in the caucuses very seriously. They screwed it up badly.
The Sanders team says Iowa is still in play and they're set to fight the results.
After it's all said and done, it should be the case that we have the same number of national delegates as Pete Buttigieg.
Buttigieg says he's moved past Iowa and is focusing on future contests. As for now, Senator Elizabeth Warren is set to get 8 delegates.
This truly is about repairing our democracy. So we got 55 states and territories to go. I'm in it for the long haul.
6 delegates for former Vice President Joe Biden, who despite his 4th place finish, says he's also in for the long haul.
I really mean this. I viewed from the beginning that you have to take the first 4 as one.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
The Iowa Democratic Party has reviewed 95 precincts, the campaigns flagged, and the new results are basically unchanged from the original count. The former mayor of South Bend, Indiana, is still in the delegate lead by 0.1%. Senator Bernie Sanders is a tight second. The campaigns have until Monday to request a recanvass of the vote. Otherwise, Buttigieg will officially win the first matchup of the 2020 presidential election season. It is estimated he will receive 14 delegates. 6 Western Pennsylvania police departments are receiving funding for their canine units. The funding comes from grants provided by the Ben Roethlisberger Foundation. 2 police departments from Ohio will also receive funding. The money is anticipated to provide training and certification of new and existing canines and the replacement of retiring dogs.
Threats of violence have led to Ringgold School District closing while district police are investigating. Ringgold School District closed Friday after threats of a possible shooting. More threats led to the district closing today as well, and 6 students are being questioned in relation to the incident. The punishment they will face is not yet clear.
A 3-year-old girl was killed during a shooting that took place in the South Hills. Authorities say that a gunfire occurred at a home on East Warrington Avenue at around 1:30 a.m. Sunday morning. When the police arrived at the scene, they found Chastity Clancy dead from a single gun
from the head after a bar fight on the south side. According to a Pittsburgh police officer working security at Mario's south side, Zachary Patterson hit the victim with a glass. The fight was caught on surveillance, and Patterson was charged with 2 counts of assault.
Authorities are searching for 3 suspects who are allegedly involved in a robbery in Sheridan. Pittsburgh police reported that the male suspects asked the victim to hand over his belongings. The suspects were wearing dark hoodies and took the victim's cell phone. And now we'll head over to Scott McDaniel, who is outside with a quick look at our weather.
How's it looking out there, Scott?
This is a far cry from the snowstorm that we got Friday. We have almost no remnants of that snowstorm. It's almost like it never happened. We do have a bit of a misting right now, but it's to the point where you don't need your umbrella. Absolutely, we still got some of that winter weather out here, but it is in the form of so you'll not have to worry about that. Might want to take your umbrella to work today, however, you won't have to worry. So moving on to today's forecast, we're going to be looking at rainy conditions with a high of 46 and a low of 34. Humidity, we'll be looking at a humidity percentage of 89%. I don't know how that's possible. Tune in later for my hourly forecast, tomorrow's forecast, my 5-day forecast, all those forecasts. But for now, we're going to John.
Thank you, Scott. Stay tuned to a host of RMU-TV's great programming. Mondays at 1, get your news fix with RMU Live. Wednesdays is a Jimmy Kimmel with an RMU twist with RMU Kidding Me. Keep in touch with the latest in Robert Morris sports with Colonial Sports Center, Thursdays at 9:30. And new this year is RMU Focus, Fridays at 1, focusing on everything Bobby Moe. Streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years, and I got my 3rd child, who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90-mile-per-hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, read your lease. No pets allowed. My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
Sometimes we can do things that exclude others.
You're still talking to your friends? It's complicated.
I think he went back in. We gotta go get him.
Welcome to Jumanji.
Even the smallest words and actions can have a big effect on someone. You have the skills. Because of you, someone's entire day, their year, or their life can change.
Remember, the future is in your hands.
Visit becauseofyou.org to learn more.
Totally, let's do it.
Welcome back. Class Borrell will be speaking at the Wheatley Atrium on February 12th. Borrell is a Rooney Scholar and will be explaining family life in Sweden. The event will take place 1:30 p.m. and be followed by a reception. Former Congressman Keith Rothfuss will be visiting Robert Morris on Wednesday. Rothfuss will be speaking at 6:30 p.m. in Hopwood Hall. The event is hosted by the College Republicans. 2 concerts were announced for the UPMC Event Center today. According to the venue's website, Melanie Martinez will be visiting Moon Township during her K-12 tour on June 17th, and Jason Isbell and the 400 unit will perform on June 26th.
Associate Professor of Political Science Justin DePlato was awarded a Fulbright Scholar grant. DePlato has published a book titled The United States Supreme Court and Politics, Judicial Retirements, the Docket, and the Nomination Process. In the spring of 2021, he will be teaching in the Department of International Relations in the University of Malta. And Soren Fanning will be presenting the first RMU Roundtable of the spring semester. Fanning is the Associate Professor of History, and his discussion will be about national identity on February 13th in Franklin 203 from 2 to 3:15 p.m. And Nate Breisinger is in the studio to talk about Pittsburgh sports. Nate, what do you have for us?
Thank you, Sonu. As the snow fell in Pittsburgh, the Penguins were able to avoid it as they traveled down to Florida for 2 Eastern Conference matchups. The Pens took on the Tampa Bay Lightning Thursday night and fell down early 2-0, as Mikhail Sergachev and Steven Stamkos found the back of the net. Evgeny Malkin would cut the Lightning lead in half, redirecting a shot while streaking to the net. However, Anthony Cirelli would make it 3-1 on a 2-on-1 play. But John Marino would add another goal for the Pens. However, Nikita Kucherov finished off the game as the Penguins fell 4-2. The Pens were plagued by turnovers and sloppy defensive play in this game. They looked to bounce back on Saturday as they took on the Florida Panthers. Chris Letang scored the opening goal as he received a pass leaving the penalty box and went forehand to backhand to beat Sergei Bobrovsky. Then Teddy Bluger whacked home the Pens' second goal in front of the net. Following that, Mike Hoffman would get the Panthers on the board. However, in the second period, Sidney Crosby redirected a power play shot to make it 3-1. Florida would add another, but that would be all as Tristan Jarry made 33 saves on the evening. The Pens returned home when they played Tampa Bay on Tuesday. In other sport news, although the NFL is over, turn to your right, and there stands the XFL. All 8 teams took to the field this weekend. The DC Defenders took down the Seattle Dragons 31-19 as Cardell Jones led the Defenders as he passed for 235 yards and 2 touchdown passes. Next, the Houston Roughnecks defeated the Los Angeles Wildcats 37-17. P.J. Walker tossed 4 touchdowns in their victory. Then, the New York Guardians put up 23 points while they limited the Tampa Bay Vipers to 3. Matt McGloin threw 1 touchdown in the air while adding 1 on the ground as well. Finally, the St. Louis Battlehawks beat the Dallas Renegades 15-9, while Will Hill helped the defense hold Dallas to only 3 field goals as he had 5 tackles and 1 interception. Overall, many may say that this weekend of XFL football was very successful. Let's see how things go from here on out. Now let's see what other news we have in store for you guys. Back over to the desk.
Thank you, Nathan.
Coming up after the break, Kennywood is going through some changes. Stay tuned.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign, not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a 4th ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Jason, let's go see your room.
That's not right. How is it? Is it good?
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Welcome back to RMU Live. Kennywood's general manager has stepped down. On Sunday, a park spokesperson announced that Jerome Gibbs stepped down and Vice President Rick Stemmel will be the interim general manager while they search for a replacement. There are no details on the reason for stepping down.
If your job has you stressed out, you might want to put a plant on your desk. Researchers are saying that Researchers in Japan observed electric company employees' changes in stress levels pre- and post-involvement with plants. They found that employees with high scores on an anxiety measurement test decreased their scores after gazing at a small potted plant for a few minutes. 27% of the employees in the study showed a significant decrease in their resting heart rate. The lead author of the study says the results suggest that if employees actively encouraged workers to take 3 minutes nature breaks, the mental health of their employees would improve. You can read more in the recent Hort Technology Journal. To get even more RMU-related content, be sure to tune in to RMU Radio. You can listen live with the Radio FX app or follow Century Media on Podbean for the latest podcast talking sports, music, movies, and news.
And coming up, we have Nate Breisinger back in the studio for the latest on RMU Sports. Stay tuned.
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
Like Kelly here's about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
Because of you, I felt hopeless.
I know it was a joke, but it still hurt me.
Because of you, I felt wanted and not alone in this world.
Because you said hi to me on the first day of school, I felt included, and I knew that I was going to be okay.
Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
What are you doing in there?
What's that?
I wouldn't do that. What are you doing? What are you looking for?
Welcome back. Let's go over to Nate to see what's up with RMU Sports.
Thank you, Sonu. There was plenty of RMU sports from over the weekend, so let's start on the hardwood floor as the men's and women's basketball teams traveled to Fairfield, Connecticut to take on Sacred Heart. On Saturday, the men's basketball team would record its 10th conference win and extend their win streak to 5 games as they beat the Pioneers 61-58. Charles Bain took charge for the Colonials and scored 18 points on the evening. A.J. Brahma reached 14 points and Giannis Mendy finished with 12. In similar fashion, the women's basketball team took down the Pioneers by a final score of 67-38. The team was once again led by Nneka Ezebo with 15 points and 11 rebounds. Ire Ozzy Mamadou also figured into double digits with 13. The Colonials remain unbeaten in conference play with an 11-0 record. Let's head over to the ice as the men's hockey team hosted the RIT Tigers for a 2-game set on Friday. The Colonials fell to a 2-0 deficit that they would not overcome. Sean Cameron scored the 2 tallies for the Tigers to start the contest. Nick Jenny, though, would add the lone Colonial goal on the power play starting the 3rd period. However, they had no luck scoring the rest of the way as Ryan Nicholson and Alden Dupuis finished off the game for the Tigers to make it 4-1. On Saturday night, the Colonials fared much better as Nick Berkusik buried a shot to win it in overtime 4-3. Nick Lalonde opened the scoring going top shelf on Drackett. RIT was able to score 3 unanswered to put them ahead 3-1, but Daniel Mantenuto slid one 5-hole on Drackett to make it 3-2 on the power play. With under 2 minutes left in the 3rd period, Aiden Spellacy put one home to tie the game and force overtime. Then Percusic finished this one off as they ended a 5-game losing streak. Now let's go up to Hockey Valley as the RMU women's hockey team took on Penn State. In the first contest, Maggie Burbage would lead the charge for the Colonials as she found the back of the net twice. The other goal was ripped home by Emily Curlette on the power play. The Colonials finished off the Nittany Lions 3-1 in this one. As for game number 2, the Colonials and Nittany Lions would skate to a tie 2-2. Penn State went up 2-0 early, but then the Colonials would storm back. Once again, Emily Curlette scored her second power play goal of the weekend. This put her at 35 career goals, making it the most goals by a Colonials defenseman, passing Kirsten Welsh. In the third period, Michaela Boyle would tie the game at 2, but that would be all the scoring for the evening. RMU now leads the CHA with 31 points. The softball team began their season slate when they traveled to Clinton, South Carolina to play in the Blue Hose Invitational. On Friday, they played Presbyterian in a doubleheader affair. The Colonials were held to 1 hit in the first matchup as they lost 3-0. However, in the second game, RMU won 7-6 in the 8th inning. On Saturday, they defeated South Carolina State in 5 innings. And then they dropped their final matchup on Sunday against Norfolk State 6-3. Natalie Higgins led the way for the Colonials with 7 runs batted in on the weekend. Madison Riggle added 6 RBIs for the team as well. Both Riggle and Katie Gasvada pitched well over the weekend as they only allowed a combined 11 hits through 13 innings of work. The team starts the season 2-2. Finally, the women's lacrosse team took on the Ohio State Buckeyes but lost 13-8. RMU was paced by Mackenzie Gandhi, who scored 3 goals, while her sister Melanie Gandhi scored 2 for the Colonials. Robert Morris will host Kent State coming up this weekend. As for now, that is all the RMU sports I have to report. Back over to the desk.
Thank you, Nate. And coming up, it's National Umbrella Day, and our weatherman Scott McDaniel is back to give us the full look at the weather forecast. Stay tuned.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a 4th ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Jason, let's go see your room.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Welcome back to RMU Live. We typically associate rainy days with the month of April, but today is when you should be celebrating one of the most useful inventions ever. February 10th is National Umbrella Day. The umbrella dates back more than 4,000 years. Primitive parasols were used in places like ancient Egypt and Greece to shield people from the hot sun. But the Chinese are credited with inventing the first umbrella used for rain. Since then, the umbrella has been through many changes, from its status as a stylish accessory in England to miniature folding umbrellas. It's all about staying dry. Speaking of umbrellas and rain, we're going to toss it over to our weatherman, Scott McDaniel, to give us more. Scott, what do you have for us?
Well, John, it certainly does feel like Umbrella Day because we got some rainy mist outside. We got definitely a lot of excuses to use your umbrella on Umbrella Day today. So as you can see for today's forecast, we have a high of 40. Humidity, again, I don't know how that's possible to be at an 89. If we move on to tomorrow's forecast, sorry, you're looking at a high of 40 with a low of 27. Certainly got some more rainy conditions, so definitely want to take your umbrella, even though it's not going to be umbrella day tomorrow. Definitely want to take your umbrella with a humidity of 76% and a chance of precipitation of 40%. Now, if we're going to go back to the hourly for today, not tomorrow, sorry about that. Hourly, we are looking at rainy conditions like around 3 p.m. for 45. 6 p.m. we're going to be looking at more rainy conditions for 43, excuse me. And then 9 p.m. we're going to keep up with those rainy conditions at 40 degrees. Now, looking at the 5-day forecast, Wednesday will be more, once again, rainy conditions with a high of 39 degrees and a low of 35. Thursday, we're going to see some mixed conditions with a high of 40 and a low of 13. Definitely going to want to take your jacket out on that day. Friday, we're going to be losing the precipitation with partly cloudy conditions at a high of 20% and a low of 9. Saturday will also be partly cloudy with a high of 35 degrees and a low of 29 degrees. Sunday, we're going to go back to those mixed conditions with a high of 42 and a low of 36. Thank you for joining us for this weather forecast. Let's take it back to the desk with John and Sonu.
Thank you, Scott. And for all updates on RMU sports, news, and arts and entertainment, head over to rmucenturymedia.com for the latest student-run RMU news. Thank you for spending your Monday afternoon with us.
Have a great week, everyone. Take care.
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
Like Kelly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
Because of you, I felt hopeless.
I know it was a joke, but it still hurt me.
Because of you, I felt wanted and not alone in this world.
Because you said hi to me on the first day of school, I felt included, and I knew that I was going to be okay.
Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
What are you doing in there?
What's that?
I wouldn't do that. What are you doing? What are you looking for?